Hello and welcome to See If It Sticks, the podcast that solves your problems like a stormy night is your problem. We are the thunderstorm that clears the air.
Oh,
like the other night when it really thunderstormed and it woke me up and my dog got scared.
It didn't where I was. I heard about it. No,
it was terrific electrical storm.
Was it? Flash boom.
Yeah, apparently in my younger brother's room, like he's literally rattled his windows.
Yeah,
it was very, very
really
loud. Wow, and flashy.
And there was lots of them, like one literally after the other.
Like you were in the middle of Baghdad or something in 2003.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except it's making the air a little nicer.
Making a little bit clearer.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So we're going to any mail of any kind? Have mail? Do we have a little bit of mail?
Who are we?
Who are we? Oh yes. I'm Ross. Hello.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Dom.
And we are live streaming again this week. I always feel like I'm really excited to host, and then when I become the host, it's too much pressure for me. I can't handle this. But
it's good for your development.
I guess so. Yeah. Or it's worse for it.
Someone's touching themselves.
Someone's touching themselves. Not
apparently
mine,
in the comments. Oh. Miles Hall, you are touching yourself.
You carry on.
Dirty Bertie.
Dirty son of a bitch. First of all, I guess we'll do a little housekeeping because we're not going to have any news for the next.
Oh yeah, we're away.
Everyone's going on holiday. Are we going?
No, you two are. I've been on holiday. I've just come back, and then you two are going on holiday.
We're going on holiday together.
Yes, Ross and Dan are going on holiday together, and
go for a dirty weekend.
Yeah, leaving me out of it. There you go, Miles Hall.
Skip down the beach.
Imagine them on a dirty weekend. There you go.
Imagine it. Imagine it now.
Butt to butt. That's what they do, right?
What they do.
That is what they do.
Here's us getting lambasted on Tumblr. Finally, our star has ascended.
That's it. All news is good news, right?
Yeah, all press is good press. Yeah.
That's it. We're also going to head over to Linny Watch.
Live.
So, good friend of the show, Jamie Linney, is raising money for Derbyshire, Leicestershire and Rutland Air Ambulance. He's doing it on the 3rd of September, which is very soon now. And he's doing this man versus mountain, which is 22 miles over Mount Snowdon with obstacles, which we've discovered are ridiculous obstacles, like climbing things and
bears.
Yes, cows.
Oh yeah, cows. Yeah.
Crazy cows. He sent us some pictures of his last big training session before next week's mountain. 2 climbs of 1,886 feet, which is still not a patch on Snowdon. If I'm not ready now, I'm fucked, he says. Cheers for all the support.
I ran 3K today. Nearly died.
Wow.
Yeah.
I walked up Glastonbury Tor last week because I remember he was saying he was going up Man Tor.
Oh, yeah.
So I walked up it and I died ever so slightly. So I can't imagine what it's like actually using your muscles and running. So yes.
Well, he's doing it for a really good cause. Yep. So if you want to donate anything big, anything small, whatever, you just head to justgiving.com/Jamie-Linney1, JAMIE-LINNEY1, and you can donate to his page there.
When this comes out, it will only be a few days before he... Actually, a couple of days before he does it.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this live now, go donate. But keep on watching us in another window.
Yes, keep the windows open.
Should we move on to a problem?
Yes.
We have a problem.
We do have a problem. Was that the only sort of news for today?
It was.
Remember, you can send in your correspondence. If you dislike us, tell us, even if you know.
Hate mail. That's more appreciated than love mail.
I tell you what, hate mail. We haven't had a lot of that in a long time, actually. There have been a lot of Dom plaints or correction erections for a while.
That is true.
And I know we've been wrong about a lot of things, so possibly... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean...
We start to believe our own bullshit if you don't correct us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you want that happening?
We make so many sweeping statements that some of it's got to be wrong.
Yeah, I know, right? So, our problem for today is from... long-time fan of the show, Emily Birtles.
One-time partaker of the show as well.
One-time
very
partaker.
Quietly,
she did come and get
really
involved.
Want to be a part.
We sort of forced her to be here on the Quizmas special last year.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's got to be coming up again, isn't it, Dom?
Well, I'm
You better
already.
start fucking planning.
I'm already. I'm already researching questions, Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
earlier than
next we
last
got
year.
Halloween. It's actually just coming up pretty soon.
It is
October.
Coming, yeah, it's coming up.
How will we top the spooktacular from last year?
I don't know.
We need to get new soundboards.
Yeah. I mean, it took
Or
me.
a soundboard.
Yeah.
I should probably start writing it now because it took me a full, probably 45 minutes to do it last year.
I know.
But all the puns you used last year, you can't use them again. That's the
Exactly.
problem.
That's
really going to slow you down.
That is going to be a real problem.
We'll have to have an evening of beer and sort of brainstorming.
Yes.
Come up with some form of scriptural analysis. Right. So this is from Emily, and her problem is because if you don't know at home, she is a taxi driver. And
like Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro, but not like Robert De Niro in the fact that he becomes obsessed with an underage prostitute and tries to kill a politician.
You don't know that.
I don't know that about Emily.
Met Emily, right?
I just hope that that's the case.
I haven't seen her in a while, to be honest.
No,
maybe that's.
I have seen her.
Have you?
Quite recently. Me and Dan were in the car.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
A little while ago.
Actually, there'll be an addendum if we sort of run short on this problem. There'll also be an addendum to one she told me in the car that time.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a very short voice memo about it. More on that later. Anyway, so her problem is when she stands at the airport with a name thing. So that's one of those, like, you know, Mr. Johnson when you come off the flight or whatever. Or in your case, it'd be Mr. Gilbert. In your case, it'd be Mr. Juarez. And people keep standing in front of you. So she's got the thing, and people just keep on standing in front of her. So her, client, can't.
Okay.
Can't
put it on
see.
a stick.
I mean,
done.
The airport is sort of quite a melting pot of emotion, isn't it? Like,
Well, I think it's sort of, the whole problem sort of strikes at the greater problem that is airports.
yes.
We've done the motorways.
Yeah.
We've done
for a while.
supermarkets, car parks. Now we're onto airports.
Now we're clearing the skies.
Don't say that. Gets us on the list.
With all these drones that we've got flying about at the moment, I'm not sure there's going to be any space for
I know, the See If It Sticks world
The blacked out skies
will be
of
black
drones.
with the hundreds of thousands of drones that are required
Swarms of drones
to do all of our problem-solving ideas. Solutions, otherwise known as.
I did have something I wanted to talk to you guys about, actually. Last time I flew, I was having a
God,
bit of a...
It's finally coming out.
What's that?
It's okay, Ross, you can tell us.
I was having a bit of a gassy day, I would say. I had the trumps. And when I got on the plane, I did notice that they went away. All right? And I was thinking maybe it's because the airplane is pressurised. Maybe it equals out the pressure and,
Your guts.
you don't then fart anymore. And then the last couple of times I've been on a plane, I've thought, I haven't needed to fart the whole time I'm on a plane. Is that something? Is that a thing I'm onto here?
No, I've farted on a plane before. I've done the cardinal sin of farting on a plane.
Because that just gets recircled around.
Dom
and
is
around.
that guy.
You just said you have as well.
Yeah, I have, but you
did a little quiet
you
one
keep
that
it
didn't
in the
smell.
seat, so then it only appears once you stand up to leave the plane.
And everyone just goes, like they've just been struck with a wet fish.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe it was the pressure keeping it in there. I thought maybe the pressure equalised with your farts and kept
Maybe
them in there for a little while.
it's more of a social subconscious thing
What, that my sphincter clenches?
that you're in such close proximity to people that you have to keep it in. The only time I've ever done that is on a long haul flight
That's the worst.
back from America.
Right at the beginning.
Back from America, not right at the beginning, like overnight. So when people
Yeah.
are sleeping.
All of a sudden, everyone starts waking up.
Are you saying that they were sleeping or you put them to sleep?
No, everyone's sleeping and I'm awake. And
We all know that Dom's farts can wake people up.
yeah, we know well.
Like
Well,
smelling salts.
Yeah, my toilet smell woke your mum up once, didn't it?
That is true.
When I
Dom
was
woke my mother up.
drunken toilet smell.
Having a poo in my house.
That's how strong and virulent my gas is.
Pungent.
Stings the nostrils. But
Yeah, well, I guess back to the problem at hand. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I just wondered if
It
that was
might
a
be a-
thing. I
it
keep
might be a-
meaning to talk to you about it, and I keep forgetting an hour in an airport. It's reminded me.
It could be a pressure thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess to a certain extent. But then I suppose if you've got that much pressure build up, one's going to outweigh the other. But then if you don't need to fart when you get on the plane, does it suck air in your bum? It could do, couldn't it?
So we're back to things going in your bum, Ross.
So
It's come full circle.
here's something I want to ask, right? So, you know the toilet on the plane?
Yeah.
When you're supposed to not sit on it, aren't when you flush it, right?
Don't sit on it while you're flushing it. Pull your insides out.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But there's not really great signage that
I don't
tells
think
you-
that's true.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know. I've
If you
always
sit
got
next to it when you flush it, when you're standing up and you flush it, the air, all your hair
Yeah.
goes just like that flips forwards.
Does what? Just like you got little rabbit ears. You go,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Dan's hat comes off into the toilet.
my beard goes sideways.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think you're okay to sit on it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you
If you
created
really-
a
Because
perfect
there's no
vacuum,
big sign. There's no big sign saying don't sit on it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what animal flushes the toilet while they're sitting on it anyway?
Well, I know. I've never done that before.
Like, because you wouldn't do that.
isn't the
you would-
flush on a plane behind the seat? Don't you have to put the seat down to flush?
I don't know.
I
Look,
wouldn't
I've
stick
never.
it-
I've
You wouldn't
never-
sit. You wouldn't sit down and flush a toilet normally, would you? Because you get wet balls
That's true.
or
you
wet
would get
wet bottom.
Yeah,
wet ring.
I'd never sat and flushed.
I just sort of thought about it as you were talking about your farting issues.
I think you'd have to create a perfect vacuum for it to cause you any medical problems.
Like completely airtight seal.
Yeah. And then you've got the gap between the seat and the
Yeah.
toilet anyway, so that would be
If
enough
you left just a little gap, it would sort of go like
a dick whistle.
whistle.
Oh, that would be
That's a good point. Actually, it might act as a sort of a
Swedish penis pump.
enlarger.
Yeah,
Swedish
comes out
penis
the shape of a toilet.
comes out the side.
Tapers
like-
away at the bottom.
Just really
with a
flat
U-bend
and
on
round. That's weird.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
imagining
think
that
that's
now.
actually a thing, but
No.
because it doesn't get sucked straight out of the plane, does it? It gets sucked into that little box, and then every now and again, if they have to, they empty the box out over
Yeah.
the sea.
Yeah.
How often do
ice.
they empty it? You would think they'd empty it a lot, wouldn't you? Because they want the plane
Apparently,
to be.
they don't really very often.
Oh. I
It's
suppose.
chemical. Is it chemical toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose there must be. There can't be that many people that poop on a plane anyway.
I've never pooped on a plane.
No.
I've only weed on a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, you would kind of. It's one of those things that you would kind of want to avoid at all costs, wouldn't you?
yeah. You'd have to be an
I
emergency.
wouldn't fancy it.
No. Because have you ever been on the plane and been in after someone who's done a dirty number?
That's
two?
even worse than waking everyone up with your stinky farts.
Yeah.
I guess the only good thing is with that flush is it's going to suck the majority of the air with it.
It's a good point.
It
Maybe
does still
that's-
smell though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lingers on the clothes.
I always make sure I open make sure you open the door first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
to
it waft into the
let
cabin.
the smell out and then flush the toilet.
Or just don't flush. Just leave it there for the next person.
Yeah.
A friendly
Lovely.
little
Yoo-hoo!
hello. Ugh.
I actually encountered, weirdly, thinking about going to the toilet, all three of us were at Dom's parents' house at the weekend for a barbecue.
Yeah.
And after Dom and I had taken a dip in the pool, I went into the
Just us.
I went into the bathroom to get
Butt to butt.
my actual clothes
do,
back
right?
on. And while I was leaning down, putting my shorts back on, I noticed that someone had obviously eaten some ribs and had smeared like a ribby handprint all over the basin.
So they were holding on for dear life whilst having a poo or
all
something?
over the sink. Well, I don't know. Maybe they went to turn the tap on and put their hands on the sink or something. I don't know, but there was a ribby handprint all over the sink. And I encountered that situation that we discussed on air before, Mike Orvis's problem, where I could hear people milling around outside the bathroom, and I thought, if I don't clean this up, then I could walk out and someone could walk in and think that I have smeared rib juice all over the sink. If I do clear it up, then I'm clearing up some fucking mess's problem.
You sure it's rib juice? How do you know it's rib juice?
Because
You taste it.
it looked like
Yeah.
it looked like what happens when you eat ribs and you put your hand on something.
It might look like that, Dan, but it might not have been that.
Well, it wasn't poop.
Yeah.
I don't think it was
Sure.
poop.
Could have been an unwell person's poop.
There's also a little bit on the door.
Right.
I think I know who that was.
Yeah.
Oh,
I kind of
spill.
want to know now.
My missus, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh no!
She was really hammered.
She headbutted
She was
the
really
table,
hammered.
didn't
Do you remember? She was really hammered, and
Yeah.
she had just ribs all over her at one point, and she ran. She sort of slunk
She
off
did.
to the loo
She
to clear
had,
herself up.
like something in her hand, then she dropped the plate on the floor. It was like this triple messiness
Yeah.
thing, and she bent down to pick it up. She went headbutted the table, got back up, and she had rib juice on her head. It was all over her face, on her
mother
shoulder.
She put me in a right sticky situation. Literally. Yeah, and I was stood there. I was
They
pacing.
were good ribs, though, right?
They were good ribs. I was pacing around in there for ages, thinking like, if I clear this up, then I've just cleared out someone
Oh,
else's
she'll be
mess.
mortified when I come home and say I've said this on the podcast live. She might even be watching now.
She hasn't come up on the list.
No.
Yeah, she's also not going to be living at your house when you get there, and,
Yeah.
or you're going to be not going to be.
Yeah. Gonna get home.
So
all my
did you
stuff's
clear
on
out
the lawn.
then?
No, I didn't.
No.
I
rightly so.
stood there and I thought, no, there's no way I'm cleaning up after someone else. So I just waited for the
Susurration.
waited for the crowd outside the door to subside, and then I snuck out.
Why were there so many people outside that loo?
It's because it's right near the kitchen. People were sort of going in and out and like,
Shaking it all about?
yeah,
Well, they were doing the hokey cokey.
In your
they
hallway.
were going in, out.
Shake it all about.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
We have gone way off track. haven't
Way
we?
off
We're
track.
talking about rib juice in a bathroom when really the actual problem is signage at a airport.
Yes.
Hand signage, in fact.
Yeah. Some people use the fancy ones on their phones now. Have you seen that? Some people
No.
will type it. They've got like a scrolling one that goes across their phone or like an iPad.
That's tiny.
They'll put it in big letters on an iPad.
iPad be better.
You could get a like an inflatable, couldn't you? Hold it up.
Like a balloon, like a
Like a-
helium-filled
yeah.
balloon. But then if everyone does that, there's an
Yeah.
issue with
then you could
tangling.
then the same problem's going to occur, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone's going to
Yeah.
stand in front of you and
have a
it's
balloon,
going to obstruct the balloon.
Speaking of those mobile phone ones, you know, like the scrolling things that you can get like the scrolling writing that goes
Yeah,
across. I was doing a gig once and someone had your shit written on it. They just had to sit there,
Amazing.
straight face, deadpan, looking me in the eyes, just holding his thing up with your shit scrolling across.
Was that Predicting the Fall gig?
No, it was the band before that. It was the Kenny. With the one I was in with Yeah.
I haven't had a message from in a while.
Yeah.
He's been slacking.
Yeah.
No, it's holiday season, guys, but come on.
Yeah. I think all these people that normally contribute have got children.
What?
Yeah, I think they might have.
Children?
Yeah, the small versions of themselves.
Oh. Offspring. Spawn.
They've done the sex and then had small
They've done the
versions of
sex in the
themselves.
wrong way without
Yeah.
any protection. And
Yeah.
now they have spawn.
Yeah.
I see.
So, are we looking for? Maybe what you could have is you can have those things like sometimes when you order takeaway food and it's
The
like a little
buzzers.
buzzer thing.
I had one of those at Cobham Services on the way to Somerset. It was a Papa John's. I ordered
You had a
pizza.
buzzer and chips.
I ordered pizza and he gave me a little buzzer and I was walking around the service. It's quite big, that one.
How do you get that buzzer in the first place?
That's the thing. I was thinking going really quite esoteric with it and then having like sort of pheromone trails.
What?
So you have to sniff them out.
So like,
Do you have to carry a bear with you?
no. So like part of the
They
sort
smell
of
the
package
menstruation.
that you organise with the driver is that they have like a certain pheromone trail they give off, and then this would require us to have some sort of future tech implant. So this is sort of solving a number of
Surely
issues.
GPS would be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
than
possibly.
that, if we're going to future tech.
But I'm
implant
just trying to
people.
go weird with it, so I'm going to keep on going with this idea just for a second.
You go weird with it.
And you have a little implant in your nose, and then basically each like driver has their own specific imprint, say, and then when you come
It sounds
out,
like less than going future. It sounds like it's going more past,
Yeah.
like more feral.
And also, no disrespect to any taxi drivers, but I don't really want to go around sniffing them.
well, no, you're not going to go up and
there's
like,
like-
be sniffing
there's-
them under the pits, are you?
But I know-
It's more like in the air, and you can sort of go, I smell the
But-
scent of jasmine.
I mean, I've sat in a
Sweet
car,
lilacs.
sat in a car all day, and I'm a little bit fresh when I get out of a car. So I can imagine that a taxi driver wouldn't smell particularly appealing.
No, maybe. It was just a thought. I was just trying to bring a bit of whimsy.
You know that like where you can find your phone? Like I've got on my watch here. So if I want to find my phone, I can swipe up, hit a button. I say that fucking thing's not working. Look. I can hit this button and my phone will ping. So wherever it is, I can find it.
It's not pinging
I say,
right now.
No, it's not fucking pinging. Of course it's not, because I'm trying to fucking... There you go. So I can ping that. Even if my phone's on silent, it'll do that, which is great.
If it's got that lag on it, though, like
Yeah.
you're walking around the house going, well, it must be far away because it's taken 3 seconds to get to me.
I'm doing it in lightning count.
It must be
3 miles away.
It must be 2 miles away.
But you could do that with a taxi driver. So if you've got the app, they've got the app, you can push a button, and as you push the button, it buzzes them and they can go, oh, I'm here! Like that.
Yeah, but what if a bunch of people do it at the same time?
Everyone's doing it at the same time, so there's just like still this gaggle of taxi drivers going
Yeah, I get you.
with their balloons all tangled up.
That's it. And the signs
Maybe
saying you suck.
the problem isn't with... Right, here's another thing.
Go on.
Maybe taxi drivers need to become a bit more flamboyant.
Got more colourful clothing.
Yeah. So no, not that kind of flamboyant. More like I'll be wearing, the feather headdress or something, like something
That's going to
completely
get you right in the way of everyone.
completely out of the ordinary. Just be like, I'll be wearing, a massive fucking sausage on my lapel or something like that.
Maybe they just need better taxi ranks at airports so that you can get a text to say your taxi will be at
Bay 1.
Bay Z3.
Yeah, that'd be
And-
good.
And then you just have to go to it and they can wait there.
Do you remember the solar roadways that were a very short-lived thing on the internet for
Yes.
a while that never came to anything?
Yes.
Have the floors in the train stations like they do at Victoria, where if you want to go to the central line, you've got I'm saying that, I don't even know if the central line's there, but if you follow the little lines in the floor,
Yeah.
so the driver has his own line. So then you have your line, they have their line, and they meet up. So as you're walking down the platform, you just follow your line off and your colour, and then you get to your guy.
Yeah, but that would only work for like sort of 5 taxi drivers at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to start to become a spaghetti, isn't it?
It's gonna be a bit of a mess.
Multicoloured spaghetti.
Spaghetti man.
Or it's augmented reality.
So
You're looking at it through your phone. You're looking at the floor through your phone, and you can see.
and it gives you like
your
a sort
line.
of direction, like an arrow,
Yeah, like you
or-
get on like a computer game or something where you can.
GPS and
Yeah, and you can see it.
You might as well just.
What happens if it's like an old lady though? They're not going to have smartphone that they can track a taxi driver on, are they? They're just going to want to turn
This is a
up.
good point.
You just get with the fucking times.
Well, I think
Yeah,
they should just have an arrival board, shouldn't they? Like Mrs. Johnson, your taxi's blah blah blah, and you sort of you check in. Like the taxi driver has to do a lot of that work, I suppose.
I think each, like you were saying earlier about each taxi being in their own numbered bay,
Yeah,
lettered and numbered bay, depending on which section of the car park they're in, and you just go to them
yeah.
rather than them standing in the thing. They haven't even got to get out there.
There's a whole like security reasons why taxis aren't allowed to do that sort of thing.
Surely it's no worse than them holding a sign up with your name
Well,
on
they
it.
still got to turn up in their taxi and then
Park it.
park.
But they park it in the car park. They don't park it at those pickup bays outside.
Well, they need,
Like Gare du Nord in
they can
in
just
France,
do a shuttle to
in
it.
Paris has got its own like special car parking bay for pickups and drop offs and stuff, and you can stay there for a little while.
Gare du Nord.
Gare du Nord.
Well, they just have.
Dodgy area, isn't it?
Yes.
They could just have so make it like not like a train station where like any taxi can just pull up at any point. Like they have to be booked in. Like it all has to get booked. So there's a certain point where they're allowed to turn up, park in a certain bay, and it goes on a system that tells you where it's going to be.
I'm down.
That's what I would like to see.
A drone chaperone that meets you from your specific carriage on your train, finds you
We're talking about airports.
facial recognition style. Oh yeah, of course we are. Yeah, I'm back to a bloody Gare du Nord. So it finds you as you come through security. It finds you, hovers above you, and then you follow it.
Mr. Gilbert, follow me to your driver.
You could also do that with a ferret.
I would much prefer a ferret.
Like when
The ferret might move a bit fast.
Is this a mechanical ferret?
no, like a
A
ferret.
robotic ferret?
So when you come out, the ferret,
drone ferret?
the ferret will be trained to recognise your scent, so it will sniff you out.
Oh,
Back to the
come.
pheromones.
Oh, I thought that was too feral. Here we are. You bastardizing my concept.
So then the ferret comes.
I call shenanigans.
Ferret comes to find you, and
Shenanigans, sir.
and then you put it on a little leash, and it leads you to your taxi. So every taxi driver in the United Kingdom gets their own ferret sidekick.
What if you have fudge though? What if
That
you
is-
brought fudge back for the family, and the ferret smells it, and it goes fucking mental.
Well, they go up your trousers, and then everybody's
They do.
having a good time
They have
watching
to
this
be-
man trying to get ferret out
They
of
have
his
to be
trousers.
really well trained.
Because it's the 50s, and that's passes for comedy.
Really well trained ferrets.
I'd prefer the drones, but yeah.
I kind of like the idea of the taxi drivers having their own little ferret sidekick. I'm hoping the ferret's going to have a little tiny ferret tux on that's like a long tux.
Yeah, like a
sock, but a tuxedo sock.
like a butler sort of thing.
A ferret
It
butler.
could be like a macaw
butler.
or something. A macaw could fly on and it could actually talk
Yeah,
to them.
it could be,
It could ask
yeah.
them how their day was, even though it can't really understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
How was your trip?
What, are you
Like-
talking about a drone?
No, I'm talking about a macaw, like a parrot.
Oh, a macaw.
A parrot, yeah. So
Oh,
Because
parrot.
everyone can have a different one.
Because can that parrot have a tiny little parrot monocle?
of course it can.
Yeah.
And can it be called like Lord Dumfries or something
And it
like
has a
that?
little
I don't know
tuxedo
what
on.
else it would be called.
All right, I see. But I also like the idea of having like taxi drivers having their own little robot buddy, because then that's a lot like an 80s like buddy movie where like,
Yeah.
you know, the taxi driver and, you know, Short Circuit 2.
Your mother
The
is a
taxi in it.
snowblower.
Yeah.
I don't think that has any more sort of like. I would still like that. I would watch the film where it was a taxi driver. Imagine Robert De Niro. Imagine what a different turn that film would have taken if he had a tiny raccoon sidekick.
Well, tiny raccoon sidekick, would the tiny raccoon sidekick have like a little gun and he'll shoot up all those guys like he does at the end?
Well, you probably wouldn't even got into any sort of sticky situation, would it? If you had a otter, like an
Ooh.
otter.
Oh, I would have an otter.
Otters have got good.
food off my tummy.
they've got good coordination with their hands, haven't they?
They do. Just remind me of that South Park episode.
Yeah.
The humans are foolish. Why do they chop down trees for wood when they have perfectly good bellies? Oh, God, such good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that a lot.
And every taxi driver should need to have one of these sidekicks.
It's part of their
A
license.
animal sidekick.
Yeah,
Specifically animal sidekick.
because then, right?
Mammal or
So-
bird or both.
Oh, anything.
Could be
No
anything.
reptile sidekicks, though.
Really?
Dangerous.
Yeah,
You can't really
those-
train a reptile.
No.
Have to be a trainable animal.
But also, if you think about it, like even if we don't change the airport, we change the taxi drivers, the climate of taxi drivers. Then if you couldn't train them to, because say for example you need to fly home from somewhere a couple of days early,
yeah.
so you wouldn't be able to pre-book that, so you wouldn't have the chance to give your taxi driver something with your scent on it. So the
So
ferret
you have
is
to send in pieces of your
ferret is-
clothing.
No, what I'm
Dirty
thinking
underwear.
is in that situation, you could still do the boards thing, right? But the little animals could be holding them. So then you're looking for like a possum, but also because
Possums are in the play.
because they're further down on the floor, because you're not in a crowd of people, they're further down, so you can literally just look across the sea.
Who's stopping people accidentally stepping on this possum?
Well, they'll be in their own cordoned off area.
Don't possums eat babies? Is it the possums that eat babies?
What? Human babies?
Isn't it like in...
Possums about that big.
Yeah, I know, but don't they steal babies? But what's the animal in Australia that steals babies?
Dingo.
That's the one.
Dingo's a kind of dog, mate.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's like a foxy thing.
Yeah. Dingo, possum, same thing.
No, possum's a little tree rat that like his
Yeah.
babies hold onto his chest and
Got
it
big eyes.
plays dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
has like a long snout.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
Related
Yeah.
to the bandicoot.
Not related to the dingo.
No. Well, they're all marsupials, so
All right.
So they'll have a little area to stand in. So then you can sort of go and look across. So you're booking your taxi, and they're like, "Yeah, mate, you'll be there. You're looking for a little possum called Dave." Look across, and you think, right, there's 2 possums here today,
Which one of them looks like a Dave?
but because
they all look like Dave's. You know that, Ross.
because they're further down on the floor, you can see across the crowd of them then, and you can see that he's got a little badge on that says
But what if-
Dan.
What if there's a chinchilla standing in front of him and you can't see that?
Well, then you'll know behind him is a possum. That's the one you need to look at.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be just by process of elimination. Well, that possum has got Robin written on it. That possum, I can't see his board, but I
A
can.
lot of possums getting involved here.
Well, just 2.
Well,
So,
no, I'm
yeah,
just
that
saying,
makes sense.
there's a possum named Dan, possum named
No, because
Robin.
the possum's going to have a board on it that says Dan because he's getting me from the airport.
Oh, I see. So we're identifying the possum through the person they're picking
Yeah,
up, not
yeah.
not their name. So it's not like, hi, I'm Dave the possum.
No, no,
Need a ride.
because it's a common name, Dave. So there's
Yeah.
a good chance that you might run across.
It's a
other-
common
other
possum name
names.
from what, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, well, I
All the
believe
possums
so.
I've met named Dave.
Yeah,
I did
Me
know
too,
one called
actually.
Frank as well. But
Frank the possum.
yeah,
awesome, yeah.
that is quite common.
Yeah.
I once met
I
an
think you
otter
should,
named Stuart.
I think you should work this little step further and get rid of the taxi drivers and have the possums drive.
That sounds dangerous, but I like it.
Cars
I
will be
like it
automated
too.
soon anyway, so taxis will actually not have drivers. And
Well, have
you
you
can
seen
have your
it?
possum find you.
Actually, coming back to this idea, taxis.
Mm.
I heard on the radio.
Oh, the wireless.
For our younger viewers, it's a thing we used to listen to music on before Spotify and YouTube. That in Singapore they are trialing a driverless taxi service in 2.5 square kilometres of the city.
I'm going there in a couple of weeks.
Are you?
Mm.
Yes, there's still a guy on board. There's still a guy on board.
It's not.
He pushes the emergency
They're
stop
not.
button.
They're not automatic cars. It's just a driverless taxi system. People are just in 2 square miles of Singapore. They're just going to be getting into taxis and going nowhere. Yeah. Is this taxi free?
Hello, anybody?
But there's still going to be a
Or is it
man
going to be
in
like that
there
taxi in Ghostbusters?
ready to
Swerve.
manually take hold of it. But apparently people have been freaking out,
Yeah.
saying it's like a ghost is driving.
I'd rather there not be anyone in it.
Really?
I'd rather it be just a fucking wild ride as to whether we're actually going to die or not.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'd pay money for that.
Ghost drive.
We're probably in quite a fortuitous position with driverless cars because we'll probably be able to. There'll probably be some way where like you've got that little thing you can plug into your car and diagnose problems with it.
Yeah.
I can imagine that with all the code that driverless cars are going to have running them, you'll be able to tap into it. So you'll be able to go in to see on your car what the programming is, because obviously we've debated on the podcast before how they're going to program it. So if you're going down a road and it sees that there's a child in the road and there's a crowd to the left of the road and there's a wall on the right, 3 children, a crowd and a wall on the right, they're going to probably be programmed to kill you as the lowest
value
casualty.
Can you
rate,
recode it to
right?
aim for the crowd?
This is what I'm saying. You could probably.
Well, that's a big concern, isn't it?
That's the thing. You could probably
It is,
override that command because I want it to go for. I don't care which one it goes for.
No,
I just
we said on that podcast before, if I paid my money, it's saving my life.
Yeah, I just need.
Fuck anyone else.
You just need to
Saving my life.
just need to turn it into a not.
Well,
a not question.
Have we talked about in China how car accidents with cars and people work in China? Have you heard about this?
It's the pedestrian's fault, isn't it? I think.
No. So if you hit someone in China
Yeah.
and they're still alive, you're better off if you reverse over them.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you don't kill them and they're injured, you owe that person and their family that person's care for the rest of their natural life.
Yeah. And you just have to
but
pay
if
for
you
funeral
run them over, it's just a hefty fine
and a funeral bill.
and a funeral cost.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Bear that in mind if I go to China.
Kill them. Make sure you kill them. Make sure you're driving fast.
But there's
enough.
horrible videos out there of people knocking someone over and then just reversing over them.
Yeah.
When the person's on the floor going, ugh.
Yeah.
Awful. And on that note, taxis, otters,
Yes.
choice.
Otters driving taxis.
Yeah, so that is how I think we should solve this. Not just because it would solve the problem with airports, but because it would make me more excited about getting a taxi.
And it'd be cool. It'd be cute. You'd be like, oh.
Yeah, because then it would also be quite a good safety precaution, because obviously there's a lot of unlicensed taxi drivers and things like that, and it can be quite dangerous, especially if you sort of a little bit more defenseless.
Yeah, but at least you'll have a possum to protect
I
you.
mean, if I got into some unlicensed taxi and they tried to abduct me or something, I'm probably going to be able to punch them hard enough in the head from behind that they're not going to
The old donkey punch.
They're going to give up on the idea pretty quickly. But if you weren't so inclined to do that, it's quite dangerous. But you would know, because obviously all the taxi drivers would have to register to get their animal, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because we're doing exotic animals here. They can't just have any old cat.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. No, absolutely not. It's got to be like. It's got to be an experience.
I've had weird visions in my head of the otter driving the taxi with a little cap and like a cigar in one hand, going, "Yeah, where you going, pal?"
Traffic's always bad this time of day.
And he's just got a little tiny like cigar in between his little otter fingers, and he's got a tiny steering wheel, but it's a full size taxi. He's just turning around, going, "Where to, pal?"
You had a good night.
Where you going to? You pulled any birds tonight, lad?
Yeah, so cause then you'd be able to, like, you know, your taxi pulls up and you go to get in, you're like, wait a minute, where's your animal?
What about people with fears of certain animals?
Well, they wouldn't get in that taxi, would they?
So if they're afraid of, like,
Get on the bus.
possums, they get in the taxi that's, you know, got the little, I don't know, fucking echidna sidekick.
It's like asking for dietary requirements, or like if you got to get a taxi and you are physically handicapped, you might be asking for one of those taxis with a disabled access step.
Yep.
You just call up to get a taxi. Hello, can I have a taxi to recording tonight? Just in case I really hate, I don't know, for example, capybaras.
Capybaras.
Please,
That would be an amazing animal. Would be picked up by the animal.
please
at the
don't
airport.
send a taxi with a capybara in it.
And I'll know if it's a tapir, because I don't like those either.
Yeah, capybaras, tapirs.
Any of the Brazilian large mammals.
Yeah. So yeah, that is how it would all work.
Nice.
And then, like I say, it goes there, because then obviously the more exotic the animal, the easier it would be to spot at the airport.
That's true. What's a really exotic animal? Really rare exotic animal?
Panda.
A rhino.
I don't know if they do rhino. I'm sort of thinking small mammals, birds.
Um,
Hammerhead.
That'd be pretty spottable, and also be dead.
That would be
You're
pretty
flapping
smart.
across the ground.
How would he leave? Just have him go all the way back to the taxi, and basically the passenger seat is just a tank,
Full up with water. Yeah.
and he just sort of, the taxi driver gets out and goes, "I know it's a little bit unorthodox, but I just love him."
Every now and again on the
Just
platform.
slides him in the passenger side window, fills it up. He's just got this cramped like hammerhead shark just going against the
Every now and again, they'd have to just tip a bucket of water on him on the platform when they're waiting for you.
yeah, just keep him going.
Yeah, keep it moist.
Lovely.
Or you should have a strap on him with one of
Dave
those
the Hammerhead.
with one of those things you get when you go to a theme park with like the spray and the fan on it.
Yeah.
Just constantly just spraying him.
Just slowly opening and closing his mouth. Going,
Yeah, so yeah, I think this is the solution, right?
I think this is ridiculous. But yeah,
I love it. That's the solution.
We're not going to get picked to solve any of these problems if we come up with things like this, but I'm up for it.
I didn't ever think we were supposed to be coming up with practical
No.
problems.
But, you know, in the
Practical
future,
solutions.
in like
Just
20,
the best
30 years'
solutions.
time,
Yeah.
20, 30 years' time, when people are actually having these conversations that we're having now about sorting these problems out, I kind of hoped I'd have a job. No, I'm not going to have a job.
Well, you know, I kind of would have hoped that we'd have just been hired as writers on the Chris Moyle show instead of him,
I was waiting
instead
for
of him
that.
just stealing all of our bits. But you know, apparently,
If you're listening, Moyles, I know where the Capital Radio building is.
yeah, you're gonna go in there and they're just gonna have all of the notes from our. They've been going through the shredder,
Like me.
piecing it all back together.
Like in like a balaclava and like full black like body glove. That'd be lovely. And I'm just like climbing into like, was it X Radio he's on? But it's
Right,
basically in
yeah.
the Capitol Radio building,
Yeah.
isn't it? Just coming in and I just go into the Chris Moyles like sort of producers writers room, and it's just like see if it sticks all over the wall. I'm like, oh no, no.
The pictures are like detective style of us three just in random places, like getting out of our car.
Yeah,
Supermarket
and
stuff.
like string with pins in it, like linking it all together.
Linking that me to an otter, you to a capybara.
Me to a hammerhead.
If we see this come up on the Chris Moyles show in the next 2-3 weeks, we know. And
See,
so
wait, whoever's listening now is going to leave it for 4 weeks now, aren't they, Dom?
yeah,
I already know.
We're always watching. Always watching, Wazowski. Anyway, Monsters Inc.
Are we wrapping that up for the
I
week?
think we are.
Yeah.
Just give it a name.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, Zootopia's already a film.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yep.
God damn it, Disney. That had taxi drivers who were animals in it.
Any
Did it?
live viewers want to help out? Go for it.
Yeah, anyone who's watching at home, feel free. So we've talked about animals and taxis.
I've got it. It's the one.
Gilbert at the
It's
back
the
of
one.
class.
Go on.
Gopher Chauffeur.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No.
I can't do much better than that.
No way. No, that's.
I'm looking at you in utter disbelief.
Oh. Give it a couple of minutes.
You like that one?
Give it a couple of minutes if you want. If you want to think of some
it's
others.
burning me inside. I'm not sure I'm going to get any better than Gopher Chauffeur.
Gopher Chauffeur is amazing.
No, I can't.
No?
No.
I'm giving this one to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Gopher Chauffeur it is.
Hey!
Episode 62 is Gopher Chauffeur.
Are you happy with
You
that?
have to Google how to spell chauffeur. But,
I can tell you.
Chauffeur.
ER. It's just ER. Otherwise,
Oh.
you'd be Chauffeur.
Chauffeur. I thought it was like a French word.
Oh, maybe you're right. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I'll look it up. I'll Google it.
Google it.
Like I was originally going to do. Send us your problems. Stickitpod.com.
There's the part where he spells Gopher. Gauffeur. Gopher Chauffeur.
Problems, send them to us so we can solve them. Any of your first world problems. If you're walking around the shops or you're walking around your house or probably driving, and you have a first world problem you want us to solve, we can do it for you. We can do it. It's not a problem for us. It's not a problem. We do this every day. Well, we do this once a week, but almost every day. But send them in, stickitpod.com, and you will also find links to our Facebook page if you want updates as to when we're going to be going live, doing our video feeds. Been doing every week. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything else. Yeah, so that's it for this week. For Gopher Chauffeur, I have been Ross.
I've been Dan.
And I have been dumb. Scheming. Wow.